new shipping hub in Northeast Asia, reaching the world from Northeast China, port of Dandong.
CCTV News is an English-language news channel broadcasting 24 hours a day to a global audience. As the sole advertising agent for the channel, CTV Golden Bridge uses its professional expertise to connect Chinese enterprises with millions of viewers around the world.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Crossover. I'm Jun with Sajid and Francis.
Hi.
Welcome to Crossover.
Nice to be here.
Sajid was here once before, right?
Yep.
We had one discussion about
the financial training for children.
Right. Now this is indeed the festive season because we have this international Western New Year celebration.
Lots of celebrations.
We're now coming soon
we
closer
also have the Spring Festival coming
to the Chinese New Year. Everyone.
Yeah.
You are wearing this very much festive color.
I'm already in the New Year's mood.
You already have started your celebration, huh?
And what is the biggest celebration back in Cameroon?
I would say it's also the New Year. I mean, the International New Year, the Chinese one, on the 1st of January. But we also have our National Day that is kind of very festive.
National Day.
It's on the 20th of May.
20th of May.
Yeah.
Right.
And then apart from that, we have different traditional festives, but those are not the biggest. Yeah.
What about back in Pakistan?
Well, first of all, we need to know about the culture. Basically, is human behavior patterns, where the lifestyle and the belief of different people, how they interact with each other, and the cultural differences have lots of variations. And their traditions, their norms, their values in different countries, different regions, and different societies. While in Pakistan, we have lots of tradition festivals there. We have Eid festivals, which so called, and we celebrate different kinds of functions on different occasions. And we do have lots of functions, including the costumes, very traditional costumes. We have very traditional dances there, particularly on the wedding ceremonies. And we have a very special kind of food which is served to lots of people around there. So the people, they celebrate, we do have New Year, but according to the Islamic calendar, we have a New Year in different timings. So, but the Chinese...
Not on the 1st of January.
Not on the 1st of January is our English New Year. But we do have our Islamic New Year as well.
Yes.
So, but that Islamic calendar, we have also 12 months, like same as the Chinese New Year calendar. So we do celebrate with respect to religion, in fact. That's the way.
Religion. And how many different ethnic groups do you have back in Pakistan?
We have, Pakistan basically is a multilingual, multi-ethnic and multicultural society. We have back the origin of Indus civilization. So we look at right from the history of those, we have lots of ethnic groups there, around more than 20, I think so. So they are working, the Christians is the second number. We have Hindus, in fact, we have lots of people there. Majority of them are Muslims there, around more than 98, 95%, something like that.
Well, that's interesting because back in Cameroon, with a population of 20 million, less than 20 million actually, we have about 300 ethnic groups.
Really? Oh my God.
And they all have their different customs.
All they have their
different
customs,
days. And different festivals, and also different. For example, you have in each province you might have like tenths of ethnic groups, and those have their own harvest day. They celebrate the harvest day, for example, the day they are.
So, Francis, it means that throughout the year you are celebrating lots of functions. Then
that means you don't have to work all year long.
Yeah, you don't need to
you
work
have
at
celebrations every day.
No, but you don't belong to all those ethnic groups.
But can you join the celebrations?
Yeah,
but you join their celebrations as well.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
I mean, is there one major festival which all these ethnic groups celebrate together?
Of course, like the National Day,
like
of course.
National Day.
National Day. We also have other days like we have the Youth Day in Cameroon, the Youth Day. Yeah.
We have two biggest celebrations in a year, and one is after the month of fasting. We have 30 days fasting month, Chai Yue.
Yeah.
And after that, the 31st day would be called as Eid Day. And that celebration's gone till 3 days, in fact.
Right.
Where lots of families get together.
That's the big day for all Muslims.
Like, the small children, they get money from the elders, their parents, their uncles. They have new clothes, lots of big food kind of thing. The second one is another kind of Eid that is called Qurban Jai, where we slaughter goats and cows. That's both of these two are basically the Islamic festivals, in fact.
Yes.
Not only in Pakistan and all over the Muslim world.
That's
they
right.
They do celebrate. We offer prayers. We have a lot of things then. And other than these, we do have some like Independence Day. We have the Resolution Day. We have lots of other things. And besides all of these things, as I have mentioned on the wedding ceremonies, we have big gatherings. Normally, like the wedding ceremonies comprising on 5 to 6 days. They have a lot of dances, singing, and a lot of food. The people all around the world, they come and they, particularly like the foreigner people, when they come and they saw such kind of things, they really enjoy it. Very colorful clothes and very good celebrations there.
I mean, China has totally 56 different ethnic groups, with Han being the largest. And I mean, for the smaller ethnic groups, they might have their big day to celebrate their New Year, their versions of New Year. But for the majority of the country, is the Spring Festival. That's the biggest celebration. All Chinese people would celebrate it would join in the celebrations. And the good thing about it, because we have quite a few major traditional festivals, including the Dong Festival, including Qingming Festival, including Mid-Autumn Festival, including the Spring Festival. Those are the 4 major ones. But the best thing about the Spring Festival is, well, it seems there is only one day which is called the Spring Festival, right? But actually it lasts for at least 2 weeks, half a month, until the Lantern Festival on the 15th day of the first lunar month. So basically you have at least 15 days to celebrate. In some cases, in some areas, they celebrate the whole month, actually.
Recently, this is the longest time of celebration among all the traditions around the world. And the best thing for the Chinese New Year, I have heard about that wherever the Chinese people all around the world, they must come back to China to see their parents,
That's family reunion.
This is the family reunion. And the most important thing is that this is the biggest temporary migration of the people going back to their hometowns, isn't it? Hundreds of millions. Look at, like the Chinese New Year, during the Chinese New Year time in Beijing, it seems like nobody's living here.
Of course.
Roads are, I love to see these kind of roads.
Well, the traffic is so good.
So good, really.
When you drive
the time that you travel around 1 hour, you spend within 15 minutes there.
This is the biggest festival for family reunions. Do you have also similar occasions?
Yeah, we do, of course. One of the international festivals that we celebrate in Cameroon, and that is also supposed to be for family reunions. It's Christmas, and then we have other traditional festives back in Cameroon. But actually, you know, Africa is divided in different countries. In those countries, you have some communities that are together, like the Muslim community. Yeah, in Cameroon, in the northern part of Cameroon, we basically have only Muslims. I mean, basically, most of them are Muslims. So when it is also a Muslim international festive, the whole country is feeling the heat, because we might have a holiday, like 1 or 2 days and all this. So those are things where people are really getting linked together. And another specific stuff about Cameroon festive days is like during great days like Christmas or the New Year or other the Harvest Day, you will notice there's something common with the old Beijing. The old Beijing, not nowadays Beijing. You have these hutong, the lanes. Yeah, in Cameroon, back in Cameroon, during those festives, all families will let their doors open.
All right.
And I mean, anyone could come. You don't need to be an old friend or a friend. You don't even need to be an acquaintance. Mostly in villages. Nowadays, of course, in big cities, you don't have that anymore. But in small cities, people will just come to visit anyone. If you come at the lunchtime, you're welcome to sit down and have lunch together and tell stories and dance after all.
We have one more, the most important one in March or April, that is called Basant Festival. Basan means a kite festival, when the changing of the colors from winter to spring.
I see.
And same like the spring festival, something like. And many foreign people around the world, they come to our country. They look at the kite festival is less. The other things are more than those. Like very traditional barbecue, lunch and dinners. All the hotels and the roof of the hotels are all packed. Lots of dances, celebrations, big gatherings of the families. And all around the country, the people, they gather at different places.
That's more like Qingming Festival in
Qingming
China.
Festival,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
This is one. So that's the time of happiness, in fact.
Yeah.
They need to celebrate, the winter is over, now spring is coming. They need to have a new resolution, a new ways of life, in fact. Everything is going to be new, in fact.
Now let's take a break first, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion about the biggest festivals or the major festivals, different cultures, and how we celebrate them. You're watching Crossover. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Crossover, and today we're now sitting together with Sajid from Pakistan and Francis from Cameroon. We're now talking about these biggest celebrations, and no doubt in China, that is the Spring Festival. How do we celebrate them? I mean, we have different ways. A big feast is always a must for any major celebration in China.
Definitely,
Maybe it's true in every culture.
I think in the whole world, it's true. We have a lot of common points, like, people meeting together, having drinks, eating together, having fun. Now, you start to have differences after this. Like, back in Africa, we cannot have any celebration without dancing. In general. No matter if it's a happy celebration or a sad celebration.
We cannot have a feast without alcohol.
Even on sad celebration, they do have
even
dancing.
on sad celebration,
Really?
when we go for, let's say, bereaved, let's say somebody died. And
you need to dance there.
Yeah, of course, we do. We have to dance. The dance style is going to be different, of course. It's not the same like during the birthday or weddings, but we have to dance. You have people who will be lining up, and you have a kind of procession. They start to walk on a procession and walk under a rhythm, and some people will be beating drums according to the mood, the mood
a symbol
right
of
there.
sorrow, in fact.
Yeah, a kind of sorrow.
What is the thing you must do in these big days, big celebrations?
The happiness days we are talking about. Like as I mentioned, that the costumes, we have a traditional costumes, like a long coat, in fact, and we need to go to the mosque, in fact, and offer prayer. And then come back and have lots of food there, and lots of big gatherings, friends, relatives. We met at one place, say like, today is at my home, tomorrow is your home, the next day is your home. So we have such kind of things. And then again, we have music, dances, such kind of things.
You're talking about visiting each other.
Visiting each other.
I mean, this is also a major part of Chinese, especially when we talk about traditional Chinese.
Going to different families,
visiting
them.
different, visiting friends, visiting each other. That's a big part of our New Year celebration, especially in the countryside when we talk about these old lifestyle. In my hometown, when I was little, it's still true maybe these days. Especially during the festival period, we have to visit each other to make sure we are still friends. We're still relatives. This is more like a statement. If you do not visit each other during the festival, that means our relationship
still
is
there.
Now it's not there if we do not visit each other. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe you don't really see each other once in a year, but you have to see each other during the festival.
During the festival,
That's very right.
In big cities in Africa, it's becoming a big problem because, some people start to notice that actually the working schedule is so tight that you just, during the whole year, you don't have time to visit people. And the festival is just lasting 1 or 2 days. You cannot visit all your friends during that time. So what they do is they organize celebrations together, meetings.
Oh, yes.
Not necessarily to somebody's house. It might be to somebody's house, but people gather together. So you don't have to
do
say,
that too.
Yeah. So you don't have to say, why did you not come to my home?
Yeah.
Like the similar kind of thing here in Chinese New Year festivals or different kind of festivals. If you're talking about the food, for example, like Chinese New Year Eve is a special kind of food, dumplings.
Yeah, dumplings.
And
that's mainly in the north. Mainly in the north.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the
and
south,
similarly,
it's different.
like on different festivals, they have like sweet dumplings sometimes, right? So the food is a very important, plays a very important role into the culture society.
A bite of China, trust me.
Really. I love this kind of Chinese food here because I'm here almost 9 years, and I love Chinese food. The vegetables, the way they cook, the way they prepare, is so nice.
It's been social, actually.
It's socialized.
Yeah.
And you know, I tell you one thing, like the chopsticks. Generally, the people said that it's only in China, but it's now very, very popular in the rest of the country.
That's right.
In our country, it's a status symbol how to use the chopsticks. If you can't use the chopsticks, you are a little bit
So
low.
there are lots of
exactly.
lots of Chinese restaurants.
There's so many Chinese restaurants, and if you just even ordinary restaurants, if you just go and order that I need chopsticks, they just give it to you.
All
Because
right.
they know that you know how to use it.
Right.
It's a really good thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, in Cameroon, it's still fashionable to be able to use
of course.
right.
chopsticks.
If we come back to visiting each other during the festival time, and what do you bring? You have to bring with you some gifts, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I've noticed in China, that when friends visit me or when I visit friends, when friends visit
you
each
can't
other,
really
you have
just
to
go there, you know, bare-handed.
Yeah, you have to take something. Back in Cameroon, we also have that tradition in the back country, the back side of the country. People always take something. It might be something very simple, but you have to get something in your hands. It might
You
be
do
just
not open
something-
it, actually.
Yeah, you
not
don't
in
open
China.
it. Yeah, you open
Not
it.
in China.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like in our country, what we do, it's really important without giving anything, going to somebody's house, is look very awkward. So normally the people, what they do, they take some fruit, basket of fruit, in fact.
Yes.
Some mithai, the so-called sweet things, because it's a celebration time. Sometimes they bring a bunch of flowers and cake, something. Or if nothing, they give some money to the friend's son or daughter, whatever it is.
But there's a big
it's a
trap.
token.
There's a big trap about this. I've noticed that, you know, given the cultural difference, some people might consider some present like a bad sign. I mean, I might bring to you something that I like, but maybe in your tradition, this is something awful to offer somebody. And this often creates this kind of, I will not say fight, but this kind of disagreement between people.
Yeah. Controversial to some extent.
Including money. Some people would not consider it good that you come and give money to their children.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So it's also, at the same time, it's a complicated situation, you know, about offering presents.
Normally the people, they offer presents, like such kind of things, or eatable things, generally speaking. And I remember back in my previous college, we do give gifts to our Chinese staff. Sometimes cash, but the same thing as Francis said. And then the management decided not to give the cash because the cash the people might use for different purposes, just drinking wine or just finish it. So it's better to give some things that they can use at home, some really they need it at home, like the grocery items and make a big pack of the grocery items used in kitchen. That's really good for them.
Yeah, I mean, talking about gifts, and when you visit a family, you remember you bring something, right, to that family.
That's right.
But when you leave the family, the host family would insist on giving you something back. I mean, that's the present back to take back home.
Because in our religion, even in our cultural society, it's very common tradition to give and receive gifts from the other parties, other family members, or your friends, or relatives. When we go to some friend's home or the relative's home, we give something. Sometimes if they plan to come to us, they bring to us. If they don't come, while we are returning back, they give something extra or something else. Okay, this is from my side.
But usually this raises another problem now. It raises the problem of comparing the gifts. Because some people do. They wouldn't say it maybe, but they do. Let's say I'll bring to you a bunch of groceries, like let's say 20 cups.
This is more valuable, right?
Yeah, 20 cups like this, I offer them to you. And when you are coming to visit me, or when I'm leaving your place, you give me something like that is not even the value of one of my 20 cups.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, it might raise up some, I would say, unnecessary problems.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's getting more complicated. And what is more complicated is with the pocket money you're supposed to give to the children of the visiting family or the family you're visiting.
Yeah.
So that's getting more complicated.
In fact, I tell you, like most of the Arab countries, they're famous to give expensive gifts like gold.
Yeah.
To some
gold,
other
even.
Gold, really, gold ring, gold sets.
In Pakistan or
in different Arab countries, including in Pakistan to some extent, not much, but
For
few.
wealthy
But
people, of
in
course,
other
not
Arab
the
countries,
average,
they have huge in their income level. So they express something like. But if we look at in other countries, other regions, European side in France, normally the best gift they need to present the bunch of flowers.
Flowers, yeah.
That's right. Like
that's convenient.
That's convenient.
Straightforward, yeah.
Like in UK, the flowers as well as chocolates.
Yeah.
That's their best gift, in fact. So otherwise, they invite the UK, like they are famous for, on Sunday, they invite you at home. They prepare a special Sunday roast or a special Sunday full breakfast, English breakfast.
Yeah.
They prepare. But in different countries, of course, the region is different. Like your countries, my countries, Chinese, entirely is different. But food, to some extent, provide a very important, significant role in the cultural societies. Like if we have a very traditional food and we serve to different people, like if we invite some people to our home, the table is full of variety of dishes. Variety of dishes. Not only few dishes, many kind of dish, including sweets and different kinds of barbecue and lots of piles of And the people, like our country people, they're proud to be the generous. That we are very good, we feel very good if somebody visiting our home. So we really good. But in China, I have noticed that mostly the people, yes, in Chinese New Year, they tend to visit to their homes. But generally speaking, when they invite you in the hotels.
In the restaurant.
Restaurants, just go and come. Because I remember I invited so many times my different Chinese friends to my home. And they are so courteous and they are so obliged that why you have invited us to your home, because this is our tradition, in fact.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. A visit to the home. When do we do that, or do we do that at all? You're watching Crossover. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Crossover, and today we're talking about this New Year celebrations, or what we do to celebrate these biggest festivals in different cultures. Well, many of the customs we've covered before for many times in our discussions, but since this is the festive season, so why don't we just review all these customs in different cultures. Before the break, we mentioned the visit to other people's home. And not, sometimes we meet in the restaurant, but sometimes we'll invite you to visit my place, my home.
It's a special visit, a special invitation.
Have you been to your Chinese friends' homes?
Yeah, many times. I think it's very, very special because, first of all, in our understanding in Africa or in Cameroon, when you invite somebody to your home,
that's the gesture.
That's over the friendship relation. It's already over. I mean, it's more than simple friend. You invite him to receive him at home. If it's just somebody like an acquaintance, you take him to a restaurant somewhere. So I've been to some of my Chinese friends to their home, and you have a very interesting part. You also have a very embarrassing part because they will try to take care of every of your moves, take care of everything.
That's right.
I mean, they barely don't bring the food to your mouth because they will invite you, encourage you to try everything. And as they are serving on the table, because they have this habit of round tables.
To show their hospitality.
Hospitality, that's it.
Yeah, for each dish, they will tell you, no, try this, really, this is good. And you have to do it because everybody's watching you, encouraging you to eat more and more. This is very warm, very interesting.
A visit to the home, to the house, is always a special treat, I guess, in different cultures.
Special treat. And particularly, I've also visited some Chinese friends during the Chinese New Year Eve. And they are very much that in this kind of things, that to please look at each and everything. The foreigners are visiting the Chinese families in China. They feel good, they feel proud, and they serve each and everything, whatever you please It said, Shabala, snow, and you have to eat it, this kind of thing. It's really, really good. And one more thing is, like, initially, like, China is open for the rest of the world. And most of the Chinese, the foreign people, they are visiting China for different purposes. And they're enjoying the Chinese food, culture, and lots of traditions. But to some extent, some people say the language is a barrier among them. So sometimes when you visit the Chinese people, initially, I have my personal example. When I came in 2004 here, that was my first day. I went out, I want to buy some bread and some eggs. I don't know at that time what is called eggs in Chinese, chitan. But I asked the person, the shopkeeper, there is something which is like oval, round.
Reserved
just
one,
broke
right?
it,
Those
open
one.
it, and then cook it and eat it. He didn't understand what I wanted. So I said, I don't know. Then all of a sudden I says, cock, cock, cock. Immediately he understood. So means to say, according to the survey, all over the world, the body language, the eye contacts,
it's
and
universal.
the face-to-face expression, the people they are frequently using all over the world to communicate. So it's a common thing.
You know, the lesson
so he immediately understand what I want.
The most valuable lesson is we've learned from your experience. All chickens sound the same. It's like the same sound.
Same thing, absolutely the same thing. And immediately, within seconds, says, okay, look at it. This is you want. I said, of course, I want this.
According to the Western culture, I don't know if that is true in Africa or in Pakistan. According to the Western culture, it is impolite to look into the eyes it is polite.
Yeah.
When you're talking to them, it is very important you look into their eyes when you talk to them.
Exactly.
Well, according to the traditional, especially the traditional Chinese values, it is impolite to look directly into the eyes of the ones you're talking to.
Yeah, I think in Africa we make a difference. We also have this problem actually, but it depends who is the vis-a-vis, the person to who you're talking.
Exactly. That's
if it's an elderly person, somebody who's like, you don't look at him in his eyes. You might listen to him. Let's say he's standing there. You might be looking a little bit lower. And listening.
To show respect.
It shows that you're showing respect. But if it's a friend or somebody, you have to look at him when he's talking. And if it's somebody like a teacher or somebody, you have to, at that time, you really have to look at him, because if you look somewhere else, it might show that you're
They don't know whether you're listening or not.
You're distracted, So
that's right,
it's
that's right.
Similar thing in Pakistan?
The same thing, because that depends that whom you're talking, elder, equal, or younger. But generally speaking, even younger, like if you're talking to our kids, we need to be very generous and very polite to them. And we need to tell them the way of communication and how to talk to your elder people. So, because they are also in the process of learning. And we need to teach them these kind of things. The traditions is a part of traditions. And particularly like in our tradition, we do give a lot of respect to women, in fact, and old people. So like in subways, in buses, if the women there, we need to give them the seats.
Yes.
Right, that's the respect as a chain of